Now, for the future of Syria, we're seeing Israel destroying Syria's military capacity to resist Israel. And it's going to take a long, long time before Syria can ever pose a threat to Israel. But I want to concentrate now on Syria's territorial integrity and what is likely to now happen with both Israel and Turkey attempting to grab parts of Syria, and how is Iran likely to respond?
Well, what happened on 27 November 2024, in my opinion, what Erdogan did is one of the greatest mistakes in his life. There was an agreement between Netanyahu and Erdogan, but we don't know the content of it, but history is going to tell us. But what happened on 27 of November, there was like what Hitler did with Stalin during World War II, the so-called Ribbentrop-Molotov agreement, when the Soviets and Nazis, they divided Poland.
Poland, yeah.
Yeah. So the situation in Syria is very similar to the Ribbentrop-Molotov agreement. So Erdogan and Netanyahu, they agreed to divide Syria. But we know what happened after the Ribbentrop-Molotov agreement. Hitler went and attacked Soviet Union. So what I foresee that is going to come is that Turkey is next.
Turkey
Is next.
next.
Yes. I mean, look, while Israel is bombing all Syria, and probably in the coming few weeks we might see Israel probably even invading Damascus or the areas around Damascus, because, I mean, the Zionists, they say it openly. They say that Damascus area and Syria belongs to them. We're going to see a major clash between the terrorist groups supported by Turkey, by fighters of the Axis of Resistance, and there will come a moment when Turkey will have to intervene to support its jihadists. Now, the reason why Turkey entered in Syria was because the Turks knew that Israel was supporting PKK and the Kurds. So Turkey sold Palestine for Kurdistan, to say it simple. Because the Turks, in their foreign and internal policies, they don't care about Palestine and Islam. They are like the Jean Turks, they're nationalists.
Nationalism, Turkish nationalism.
So while Erdogan talks about Islam and Palestine, if you see to what they practically do is that they take care only about their nationalist agenda.
Their God is a Turkish God.
They follow the path of Ataturk. So you can see from Turkey's intervention in Azerbaijan against Armenia, Turkey's intervention in Cyprus, the military conflicts that the Turkish Republic has done since its creation have never been about Islam, have been about pan-Turkism. And Turkey's entry into Syria was because they knew that the Americans and the Zionists, they wanted to create a Kurdish state, and Turkey entered in Syria in order not to allow this Kurdish state to be created.
Yeah.
But now what is going to come is that, like Stalin and Hitler, they had disputes about the way how they were going to divide Europe. In this moment, Turkey and Israel are in a direct conflict. Erdogan made the greatest mistake of his life by entering into Syria. Assad was the best person for everyone. He was the best for, not probably the best, but he was the good guy for the Iranians, for the Russians, but for the Turks as well. Because Syria was serving as a buffer state between Israel and Turkey. But now, and we know the arrogance and the power of the Zionists, mark my words, Turkey will be next. And when Turkey intervened into Syria, then I was reminded of your words, Sheikh, and the hadith that you mentioned, where our Prophet ﷺ mentioned that Istanbul, Constantinople, is going to be invaded. I do not know who is going to invade Istanbul. Will it be the Zionist empire?
It's not Istanbul.
Yeah, you call it Constantinople.
لَتَفْتَحَنَّ الْقُسْطَنْطِنِيَّةَ. You will most certainly conquer Constantinople. وَلَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ أَمِيرُهَا وَلَنِعْمَ الْجَيْشُ ذَلِكَ الْجَيْشُ. You will most certainly conquer Constantinople. And he praised the army and he praised the commander. And that conquest of Constantinople is prophesied to take place 7 years after the Great War, which is around the corner. Another hadith speaks of 7 months. All right? And I don't think Erdogan is going to be on this side in that war. He and his people are going to be on that side. And the Muslim army will sweep them away. My Islamic eschatological analysis of that war is that we will conquer Constantinople so that we can return Hagia Sophia to those to whom it rightfully belongs. That what the Ottoman Empire did in taking a Christian cathedral and converting it into a masjid was shameful, was disgraceful, and sinful. But you know my views on this subject. And when excuse me, when we return Hagia Sophia to the Orthodox Christian world, that will cement the friendship and alliance between our two peoples. Dr. Olsi, my book, The Quran and Russia's Destiny, which I wrote after meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and he asked me to write on the subject. That book, we were waiting for the foreword to be written by Professor Alexander Dugin. He's finished that. He wrote a beautiful foreword. And that book should go to the printery here in Kuala Lumpur in the next few days, inshallah. And I am hoping and praying by Allah's kindness and grace that that book might help the process of re-educating our people, that there is a destiny ahead of us in which the two people are going to come together in friendship and alliance. And what is going to happen now in Syria, in the civil war which is coming, is connected with the alliance between Muslims and Christians, which is with which history will end. My cough is now bad, and if any of you have any questions to ask Dr. Olsi?
Before going to questions, I just wanted to add something about Dugin, because after Damascus fell, Alexander Dugin wrote on his Twitter profile that, if I can paraphrase it, that he was very upset with Erdogan, and he told him, "We saved you in 2016 and you stabbed us in the back, but we're not going to save you again." And also Dugin said that what is happening today in Syria and in Palestine, we have, if I'm not wrong, 3 or 4 eschatological views competing each other. We have the Zionists, who they think that this is their time and Mashiach will come. We have Muslims, who they think that this is Akhir Zaman and Dajjal is coming. And we have the Christians, who are fighting to liberate Palestine and the Holy Land. So what Turkey did by, in a way, betraying Russia and the axis of resistance is probably one of the greatest mistakes in the history of the Turkish state. Like you said, the Turks, in this very moment, they are not on the side of Islam. They are on the side of the Zionists.
Turkey worships a Turkish God.
But the problem is that Turks, they don't want to learn from history. In 1918, Istanbul was invaded by the Zionist alliance until they... 18.
18.
Yes, after the armistice of
Yes.
Mudros. And the last Ottoman Sunni Caliph was taken hostage by the British. And they kept him as a hostage in Istanbul until they made sure that Ataturk is going to create his republic and will outlaw the caliphate and sultanate. So the Turks, they didn't learn from history. You can never trust the Anglo-Zionists. And Sunni Islam was killed by the Anglo-Zionist empire. The caliphate of Abu Bakr, which Hazrat Abu Bakr established, continued until 4th of March 1924, when Ataturk outlawed it. And Erdogan, which claims to be a pious Muslim, what he did, unfortunately, today, he is like Sharif Hussein, who in 1916 betrayed the Ottoman Caliphate and joined the Zionists. And we know what is the we know what was the end of Sharif Hussein.
£7 million they got.
And we know what was the end of Sharif Hussein.
Yeah.
And we also know what was the end of Saddam Hussein, because...
And Abdulaziz ibn Saud as well.
Yes, but Israeli government, the foreign minister, who is now Minister of Defense, Israel Katz, has officially warned Erdogan that you are going to end up hanged like Saddam Hussein. So the Zionists today, they are using Turkey and Erdogan like they used Saddam Hussein against Iraq from 1980 to 1988. And in one moment, well, when they will no longer need him, they will make him face the same fate as Saddam Hussein.
Well, I think Russia has no alternative now but to re-examine our relations with Turkey and Erdogan. And the eschatological input into this is that there is this conquest of Constantinople which is coming, and I believe that is going to cement the friendship and alliance between the world of Islam that follows Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam and the Orthodox Christian world led by Russia. And my book, the foundation of the book, is the declaration that Russia today is room of the surah to room of the Quran. All right, so we are we are now located at a moment in time with what is happening in Syria has not ended. There's more to come. There's likelihood perhaps of an attack on Iran. So we're going to stop today's session now, and hopefully that Dr. Hosein and I can come together again another 2 weeks or so when I come back from Indonesia, inshallah, when we know what else is happening, what else is in store in that part of the world after the collapse of the regime of Assad. So thank you, Dr. Hosein. Your scholarship is a treasure for the world of Islam, and may Allah protect you, and may Allah grant you more and more knowledge of the subject. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.